Do you ever wonder whether you're making enough progress in your trading? Well, in this video, we give you a concrete way to score whether you are trade by trade. Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder of SMB Capital, and we're a proprietary trading firm located in New York City, and the author of the trading classic, One Good Trade, and the PlayBook. Founded in 2005, SMB Capital trades stocks and options and futures and crypto both as discretionary and automated traders. In this video, a promising developing trader at the firm shares in step-by-step detail a scalp trade in Foot Locker. We judge whether he made a good enough trade for him to reach his trading goals, or whether this developing trader needs to do better. Let's get to work on sharing this important trading lesson so you can determine whether you are tracking towards your trading goals.
So I'll be discussing the Foot Locker's earnings report play that I took.
Okay, but before you do, we're going to do something different today. We're going to do something innovative today. So what we're going to do going forward, unless this completely doesn't catch on, but I think it will, and I actually think it'll give you, Preston, and the other guys who present, a good feel for where you're at in your trading progress, and a good feel for whether or not you're doing these playbook trades in a way that we feel is tracking towards you reaching your next goal. So if you're a junior intern and you do one of these playbooks, we're going to give you a score. There's going to be a score that you got to get above. And if you don't get above a particular score for your playbook, then you're not tracking as a junior intern towards being hired to be a senior intern. If you're a senior intern, we're going to give you a score, and if you don't get a score above a particular level, you're not tracking to be offered an invitation on the desk. If you're hired on the desk, you're a new hire, we're going to give you a score, and if you don't get above a certain score, then you're not tracking to stay here at the firm at the end of year one. And so for junior interns, senior interns, and for new hires, the scores will be different. Junior interns will not have to do as well. Junior intern, if you get 80 or above, you're tracking towards your next goal. Senior interns, if you get above 85, you're tracking your total score. You're tracking towards receiving an invitation at the firm. If you're a new hire, you're going to have to get above 90. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to score you on 10 categories: stock selection, the big picture, trade strategy, intraday fundamentals, technical analysis, reading the tape, trade management, technology, how you use technology, review, what you can do better, and diligence of presentation. So you should know all of this already. I suspect we're going to be doing some cleaning up. The first couple of these, we're going to be doubling down on our fundamentals for how we do our playbook trades at the beginning. And so don't be nervous, Preston. You're going to be our guinea pig here. But I'm going to grade you on a scale of 1 to 10 for each 10 of those attributes: stock selection, big picture, trade strategy, intraday fundamentals, technical analysis, reading the tape, trade management, technology, review, and diligence of presentation. Do you accept the challenge?
100%.
Okay, good luck.
All right, great.
If you want to learn 3 more real-world setups that our traders use, including the simple setup that we teach all of our new traders, and the setup that turned one of our traders into a 7-figure big money earner, check out the free webinar that we're currently running. Just go ahead and click the link that should be appearing now at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That will open up the free registration page in a new window, so don't worry, you won't lose this video. You can also visit tradingworkshop.com to register for this free intensive workshop. You're going to learn more in a couple of hours from this trading workshop than from years of online education.
All right, so first I'll be discussing intraday fundamentals. So FL was a stock that was in play. It dropped around 33%, extending below PM low. The XLY and the spine Qs were matching up with my trade. Foot Locker also set a new 50-day low, showcasing that there was a lot of selling going on. And basically, I read over the report and they beat estimates and sales, but it appeared that
Is that a 52-week low, Preston?
52 week low. 52 week low. Yes, that's an error in the presentation. So I guess the report wasn't terrible, but the main thing was that management predicted a drop in revenue, and I think that really scared off investors. There was also a changed vendor mix to expand director to consumer business, and not to mention there are multiple other stocks in the industry falling that day.
Now, if my memory is correct, didn't they miss for the full year?
Yes,
Do I see that on your slide?
I didn't add that into my slide.
Yeah, my memory is they missed for the full year on revenue and on the top number. That's something we want to put in our intraday fundamentals. Obviously, how they did for the full year is most important. And when you miss on the full year and you miss revenues for the full year, when you miss on the top line for the full year and you miss revenues for the full year, that's going to be something that can be a changing fundamentals trade. That can be something that can trend all the way towards the low of the day. That can be something that could trade down to lows for multiple days. And so we want to make sure on our intraday fundamental slide that we've captured that they missed for the full year on the top line and they missed for the full year on revenue.
Actually, that's on my next slide.
Okay.
All right, so the stats, the average daily volume is 3 million, the ATR is 2.77, and because the stock was in play, we moved a lot longer than that. There's little short float, and the shares float is 95 million.
All right, and then what about volatility on the day? What was the VIX reading for the day?
The VIX was, I'm not sure what the VIX was at.
Let's put that in to our slides. We're going to have different playbooks depending on what the overall VIX is. When you go back and study, you're going to want to study patterns based on what the VIX was on a current day. Make sense?
All right, yeah, understood. Okay, so basically, as I was going to say, they saw lower sales in fiscal 2022. Management predicted a drop in revenue, and we're also down already around 42% from all-time highs. Like I said, it was a stock that it was a stock that was definitely in play. The market supported my direction. The consumer index supported my direction, and there were a ton of variables I thought that gave me edge in this trade.
What do you mean by 3 to 10% gap up? Can you go back to that?
Yeah, so just that the fact that we were gapping over 3 to 10% gap down.
All right, so what is the trade strategy you're trying to outline here?
So basically, when thinking about the edge that I had in the trade, obviously, first of all, it was a name in play. Second of all, the earnings report showcased that there was lower sales and there was a drop in revenue. Third of all, because of that, that's why I thought that we were gapped down so much. And on top of that, we're already down a lot from the highs. And fifth of all, I have XLY and the overall market supporting my direction. And I thought that this was something, a really good setup also because of how weak the market was overall.
All right, you just going to add to that trade strategy portion of the slide what the entry and exit is going to be. What are you trying to get out of the trade? So, if you're going to take all these variables and then make a scalp trade, cool. If you're going to take all these variables and try and make an intraday swing trade, which is what I did, and which is some of the guys on the New Trader call did, then cool. But you got to finish off that slide with actually the entry and the exit you're going to make for this particular trade.
All right, I did that in a coming slide, but I'll start to do it in my trade strategy one. Potential reasons to sell. So in my favor, it would be if my price target was reached. Against me would be if we reclaim 30. if there was an unusual buying pressure on the tape, and if the market turned around and started trending.
Yeah, but I mean, that's for a swing trade, right?
No, this is for a intraday trade.
I'm sorry, your reasons to sell, though, would be reasons to sell if you made an intraday swing trade, right?
No, this isn't a swing trade. This is a momentum scalp trade.
Gotcha. Okay. So this is your, thank you for clarifying. So this is how you're going to get out if you're going to make a scalp trade here.
Yes.
Okay.
Variable checklist. I kind of discussed this before, but it was a stock and play. Did a lot of pre-market volume. Opening drive volume was high. We had really no pullbacks or attempts for buyers to step in. We immediately couldn't hold 31 and dropped below 30. As I said, I believe that my edge was that because of the earnings report, lower sales, and with management, I thought that investors weren't happy, combined with the huge gap down and a weak market overall. Thought that there was very high probability that if we couldn't hold above 30, that we could potentially fade the whole day. So this was my plan. My plan was to momentum scalp Foot Locker with large size below 30 with, I mean, really, if we held above 30, I would exit immediately. And I would assume that I was wrong. I was really just watching the tape, was just looking for a quick scalp to around 29 was pretty much what I was looking for out of the trade.
Okay, so you need something to make this trade work. What do you think that is? You've done actually a really good job, Preston, of talking about, if I were to give you a grade on stock selection, this is a 10 out of 10 on stock selection. This is exactly the type of stock you want to be trading. This is in play. It's got a news catalyst behind it. The price action is directional. Technically, it aligns with the news catalyst. This is a 10 out of 10 in terms of stock selection. In terms of your trading strategy here, though, you need to be more specific about when you're going to be hitting that below 30. That level in of itself needs variables. So what would be variables that would make that level be something I want to scalp off of?
I would say the fact that there was a failed high and we couldn't hold, and it was kind of like off the open. I would say it was more of like a stuff than anything, and there was just clear selling pressure. So that's why I kind of based it off of 30.
Yeah, and so those like why 30 is significant needs to have their own distinct variables, and you need to delineate them. So a common one is the damn thing can't get below 33 times, but it's got all these other negative things about the particular stock. The news catalyst is very negative. The longer term technicals are broken. It's holding below VWAP. The intraday technicals are broken. It's showing weakness overall in the tape, but the damn thing can't get below 30. I want to try and scalp this thing if it finally does get below 30 for a nice, 1-point scalp trade. But I need that 30 probably to have been tested a bunch of times and unable to be violated. That's an example of variables for the particular level that's going to make this a really good scalp trade. Can I clarify that in any way? Does that make sense to you? Do you disagree?
Yeah, no, I agree. I would just kind of add to that. Like, I was kind of just off the open with the negative news and all that and all those variables. I feel like that kind of stuff bar that we had off the opening drive gave me a ton of conviction that this thing was going to end up fading and my thesis was going to prove correct. But I see what you mean. So I guess make make my entry a little bit more specific, is what you're
Yes.
saying? Okay, understood.
Yeah, and part of it's got to be, well, and maybe it was the stop bar, or maybe it was the price action right away, but you've got to be able to deconstruct what those variables are. You've got to be able to reverse engineer them so that you don't just take, because there's going to be plenty of trades with weak stocks that you try and scalp that don't work. And you're going to be scratching your head saying, well, why do they not work? Why do some of them work? Am I a bad trader? Is this stock not so good? Is there something wrong with me? And there may be nothing wrong with you at all. You may be a very good trader. It's just that your strategy isn't good enough, and your strategy isn't specific enough. We want you to be trading more trades like this. We want you to be trading more trades like this with more size, but you can't really do that until you're specific enough about what you're really looking for, and that you're passing on lesser trades that are not worth you scalping, and that you internalize the trades like this below 30 that you really do want to take. And when you internalize those trades, that you can trade them with even bigger size. You know, we say this a lot. We're not trying to make a couple of bucks here. We're trying to make a lot of money. We're not trying for you to just be a little trader. We want you to be a consistently profitable trader who is scalable. The more specific you're getting, the more consistently profitable you're going to be. The more consistently profitable you're going to be, the more scalable you're going to be. But we got to get you to not take all of these scalp trades that are just going to be super frustrating. They're going to wear you out. You're going to lose money. You're going to think things about yourself that are just not true. You give a really great trader like Swang a scalp opportunity that in of itself doesn't have a lot of edge, and he's going to be frustrated as well. You give him a strategy where he's scalping that has edge in of itself, and he's going to look like a genius. I want you to look like a genius. And so just when I'm looking at this, it just doesn't have enough specific variables for that as to why that 30 level is a scalp for you. So add that to your playbook. And by the way, circling back, your other variables are terrific. So I really like the stock selection. I really like the idea. I just don't want you to be frustrated in some other lesser scalps.
Yeah, completely agree. So this is just bigger picture, kind of. You know, that day around 9:30 to 10ish, we were dumping. So that definitely helped me also. And this is the consumer discretionary index. That day we were also the index was supporting my direction.
All right, so for the bigger picture, where are we in terms of the bigger picture? Are we caught in the middle of a range? Are we below a range? Are we above a range? Is it more likely that your scalp trade is going to work because of the bigger picture? You know, where are we overall? That's what we want to be thinking about with the big picture. You know, if we're broken and we're weak, that's going to make all of our shorts work better. If we're busted, like today, we're so strong. I mean, almost anything you short today, other than Square and Zoom, doesn't work.
I would say that we're really weak, and there's not a lot of continuation, and fades have really been working especially well for me on stuff that has a lot of movement and a lot of volume, and a lot of stuff with negative catalyst. And yeah, no, I mean, this is just a show. You know, we're down 42% off of, you know, an earnings report like that. I think that's something that would definitely scare off a lot of investors.
Yeah, we're broken, right? There's no support.
Yeah.
We're below all support levels. It's got to go find a new support level. Those are the types of charts you want to be looking for to find stocks to trade. I mean, they're going to have to show you where the support is. This is trading lower until somebody steps in and shows you the support area.
This is the intraday chart.
Good, and that looks terrible too. But and go back to that longer term chart. I mean, you really do want to find as many stocks that you can trade that have a news catalyst or a technical catalyst, and you're trading on the same side. They have a news catalyst. They have a technical catalyst. And when you go and look at the charts, there's no resistance, and you're trading on the long side, there's no support and you're trading it on the short side, or it's just so far away from the mean that you're looking for a reversal trade. But you want to have, best to have alignment between your catalyst and the longer term charts, and best, if possible, for you to be thinking about finding these stocks that can just trend in one direction for the day. And that usually starts with broken charts or long-term charts that look gorgeous and have no resistance. So good. So I like, this is a good chart.
That level right there, that's 30. And you know, in the tape, I just wanted to see that we were gonna break down immediately. And if we didn't, if we held, I would have exited and reevaluated probably. But
yeah. And what time of the day is that?
this is at 9:35. Yeah, around after that first 5 minute bar. So yeah, 9:35 to 9:40, we broke 30.
So 9:35 to 9:40-ish, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And that green line is 30.
Yeah, and you can see volume starts to come up as we break it.
And so essentially you're saying on a 5-minute chart, it hasn't really traded below that level on a 5-minute chart. It's trending down in the pre-market. It's broken on the longer term chart. It's got a negative news catalyst in it. And if I can start to see some weakness on the tape, I'm going to momentum scalp this.
Yes.
That's the strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now the strategy really changed because I thought I could get a lot more out of it than just a simple momentum scalp. I got in at 30, and then I was in with pretty big size because I saw it on the tape. My thesis proved correct, and all my variables lined up. I took off 10% below 29, and then I was all out around that 27.50 area.
All right, so you're not really scalping this, you're momentum trading this.
Yeah, no, my trade completely changed just because there was just no reason for me to exit. And you know, that's I guess that's something like I've kind of, you know, if I'm up $1, but you know, the price action is showing me that this could go down $3. Why would I sell now?
I mean, that's why I wanted to point out the full year guidance and the full year miss on the top line. And that's why I wanted to point out where this is on the longer term charts. When you have the combination of that, you have such a negative news catalyst, and you have a chart that's broken, and you start to get on the right side of this thing. I mean, it needs to go find a new support area. There's no support for it yet. And that support level takes some time to be put in, and it should show you that with very specific details. So that's why we want to be specific about this, because maybe another type of scalp, 50 cents would have been great. But maybe this really is, maybe it's not a scalp, maybe it's more of an intraday swing. And two, maybe you do need to understand you want to get more out of this trade because of the intraday fundamentals and because of the chart.
Yeah, I mean, if there was just no reason for me to get out, and honestly, you know, we were down like 30-something% or however much at around 27, but again, you know, there was really no level there. I mean, you know, at that point, after we broke 29, I kind of thought that we could just fade all day. And yeah, these are the types of trades that I want to be in. You know, they work really well for me. Trade review. So yeah, as I kind of was touching on, what I thought was going to be a momentum scalp turned into more of a longer day trade. I think that a few things that I could have done better. I could have been in this ticker earlier because obviously, this was a great stock in play, and I think I should have been in it earlier, right as we failed to move higher on that stuff bar. I thought I positioned size extremely well. I made a full stop off the trade, risking only around 10% of my daily stop. And I think I had pretty good exits, although I really think that there was no reason to exit at those prices because there was no support, there was no change in character, there was nothing on the tape signifying to me that anyone was buying at that 27 area. I think that I simply sold because we were down so much, and that's not a reason to buy back my shares. So I think that I could have held on to it for a longer time.
Okay, great. All right, let's go through this then for each of the variables. So stock selection, 10 out of 10, great stock. Big picture, and from where you're at right now in your career, how would you characterize yourself? Junior intern, senior intern, new hire?
I guess I did my junior internship in the fall, so I guess senior internship.
So I was going to call you a junior intern and let you stay in that category until the summer. All right, so when you're a junior intern heading towards senior internship, all right, I'll call you senior intern. You really are a senior intern. I was trying to be nice to you. So when you're a senior intern, we expect you to be able to get an 85 on a playbook like this, which essentially means for each of the variables, you should get an 8.5 or higher for that to be tracking towards you getting to the next part of your career, which is to be hired by the desk. Or perhaps in your case, to be so outstanding to start your own hedge fund. I'll leave that between you and your investors. But assuming that you want to be hired by the desk, you got to get 8.5 or better on each one of these. So stock selection, excellent. I'm gonna give you that. Big picture, 8.5 out of 10. I thought you did enough there. That was fine. I would like for you to note on the charts whether we were weak or whether we were strong, and what technical areas would be most important to you that you want to trade off of on your big picture charts. Trade strategy, yeah, I think you got to do better there. We talked about that. You need to be more specific, particularly about the 30 level. I also just thought you can be clearer to yourself about what the overall trade strategy was, and that can all be in one slide. I want to be in this trade because it's got these characteristics, and I want to short it below this 30 level because 1, 2, 3, ABC, and be very clear about that with yourself. If you're not clear about what you're looking for, you're not clear about what the trade strategy is, you're not going to get better at that particular trade strategy. And even us going over this right here, was it a scalp? Was it a momentum trade? Was it a swing trade? As you get a little bit more experience, that'll be helpful for you. Intraday fundamentals, I want you to add the VIX to all of that, and you do want to add on that slide what the full year guidance and top line number was. So we're going to go 7 out of 10 on that. Technical analysis, I thought you did a pretty good job with that. More than acceptable. We're going to go 9 out of 10 on that. Reading the tape. Look, this is a tape trade that you're talking about. You do want to capture the tape and be showing that to us in this presentation. So you want to get in the habit of recording your screens before the open and then capturing that 30 level with reading the tape, showing us what was significant to that, and playing that back. So we're going to need to do more work there on reading the tape. You need to do better there. Trade management. I want to see your entries on a chart. I want to see where you're getting in, where you're getting out. I want to see that marked up. I do see that you have. I do see that you do have that. So I think that was. I like it marked up a little bit so that when you go back and look at it, you say I got in because XYZ 1 2 3. I got out because of ABC, and to have those notes. But I think that's a good start. You know, technology. I don't see you have anything in here on technology. I'd like for you to at least in one of the slides say, I like trades like this. I want to find more trades like this. Here's a filter that I'm going to write that's going to help me to find more trades like this. The stock's down a certain percentage. It does a certain thing on the open. It does a certain amount of volume on the open. Its RVOL is X. And I'm going to look for filters that perhaps find this or something like this to improve my momentum trading game. So we want to do a little bit better there. Review, spot on, good job there. Diligence of presentation, I think you can do better. I think you can be a little bit more diligent, and you'll improve from there. So, you know, overall, you know, this is a presentation that is not going to get you to where you want to get to. And look, I'll say this: we love you. You're doing great overall. You're going to have to continue to really mess up to not keep moving forward in your career. But you know, even if you do get hired on the desk, and even if we really do like you, you're still going to have to be consistently profitable, and you're still going to have to scale from your consistent profitability. And these playbook trades are going to be one of the exercises that's going to help you to do that. And so, you know, forget about me. You've got to be doing the type of work that's going to help you to get better. And I think overall, knowing your competitive background and you know, knowing the other really, really good work that you do on the desk, that you want to be coming in 9s and above on all of these 10 factors going forward. And you were the guinea pig, so maybe you're taking one for the team here. But that's where you want to be going forward. And the reason for that is just simply that's going to, each time that you are very specific about a playbook trade, that's going to help you get better. And from that place, you're going to get better and better and better and better, and it's going to compound on each other. And if you're doing really, really great work each day, and you're doing really great playbooks each day, that's going to compound and compound and compound, and that's going to lead you to being that consistently profitable trader that you can be. So I appreciate you going first. And now we've got some standards that you all have to live up to, and we will start working on it. Hey, go ahead and click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community. And please take the time to add your feedback in the comments section for what videos you'd like for us to produce next and what you found helpful from this video. From all of us at S&B, train and trade well.